Hi there, and welcome to the positive side of the bad stuff. I'm Leslie Pogue, your host, and this episode is going to begin a three-part series about my conversation with Terry Hawkins, the author of Why Wait to Be Great? It's Now or Too Late. We talked about different things. We talked about her book. We talked about her journey and my journey. She's one of the first people that actually inquired about my story, and we talked a little bit about that. I want you all to get to know her because she has so much good information to share, and our conversation was so in-depth and meaty and just full of information that I know will help you get through those things in life and get to your habit of happy. For the next 3 weeks, as we talk to Terry Hawkins, the author of Why Wait to Be Great? It's Now or Too Late. Welcome to the positive side of the bad stuff. This is Leslie Pogue again here with you. So glad to see you today. Today I'm very excited about my guest today. I gotta tell you, I met this wonderful lady. I met her when I was speaking at a Toastmaster event. It was actually a big day for me because it was one of my first requested speaking gigs, and it was, granted, it was free, but still, they wanted me to speak at their event. And then this woman, she walks up to me and she goes, "You have a presence. I know you are. I'm with the National Speaking Association. You gotta join the academy." And I was just like, wow! I was blown away by her energy, but I have loved her energy ever since. You've got to meet her because I adore her, and her name is Terry Hawkins. She is the author of Why Wait to Be Great? It's Either Now or Too Late. Her book is incredible. I am a member of the Speaking Academy right now with her. I get to see her once a month on a regular basis, which makes me so happy. So without any further ado, here is Terry Hawkins. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, Leslie, you're such a delight.
I love this because you introduced us to Flipman and Pitman.
Yes.
So tell them about that, because that will change your life, let me tell you, it will.
Well, the interesting thing with Pitman and Flipman, so Flipman is this little character, and he has a blue cape, and Pitman lives in the pit of misery. So he is Pitman, exactly, we don't like Pitman, and Pitman's that part of us that completely debilitates and just sabotages everything that we do. And so it really is an inner dialogue, and all of us, you know, there's been so many versions of this over time. It's a timeless analogy, but I think the big thing is with me and with Flipman and Pitman. Flipman is a process. So I think a lot of people talk about positivity, and they talk about how do I change my life and how do I get out of the negative state that I'm in and so forth. And it's not a matter of just, you know, thinking positive. It's a process. And so I created this process, a 4-step process, and I called it Flipman. So the process is Flipman, and then this little character was born, and people just absolutely love him.
He's great.
Yeah, he's a really good
metaphor.
metaphor.
I love him because he's
very bendy.
Yes.
Very flexible. That's
and
what you've got to be.
And that's what you have to be. You have to be flexible. It's very symbolic because it really does show how you do have to adjust and move to your circumstances and the things that happen to you.
So I think the thing that I love about Flipman is that Pitman is actually blue. And so the metaphor with the cape is that when you get all the learnings from your pit, it turns into your cape.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
and that's right. And that's, you know, I have to admit, I'm always honest with my viewers. You guys can see I'm almost done. I haven't quite finished it all. I know. I always like to be honest with you because I know people do this. People
Report
assume,
back.
and they do. But I'm just as guilty too. They assume, well, you've read it. You already know. You're already doing the stuff. Almost. I'm almost there. So when she said that, that was news to me too. So I love that metaphor.
Well, that's not even in the book.
And that's, well, there you go.
That's
a special treat just for us.
Exactly.
Hot dog.
I know.
All right.
28 Days to Happy is your daily guide to walk you through acknowledging and accepting the truth about what's really going on in your world, to forgive yourself and others for the wrongs you feel have been done to you, and ultimately to identify and celebrate the happiness that is always there no matter what comes your way. Look for 28 Days to Happy at www.softskillsdirect.com or at amazon.com.
So I would have been training about 10 or 12 years, and this woman said to me, this trainer that I was using, I was doing a program, and she said, you know, you've got an issue with trust on the stage.
Ooh.
And I was really offended because I thought, I feel really competent on the stage, you know, I feel really, or in a training environment. And I thought, wow, and I had such a reaction to it. And it wasn't until years later that I thought, she's right. She
Now,
was
what
right.
did she mean by that, trust on the stage? What did she mean?
It was such a general comment, and it stung so badly that it made me keep thinking about it.
Okay.
And so when I removed her from the picture, and I say to my kids all the time, bring it in, you know, it's like a thing I've raised them with is, whenever you put something outside of yourself and you think someone else is responsible for how you feel or what you see, or your condition or your situation, you're completely powerless.
Yep.
And so I just brought it in, and I thought, well, what would that mean for me, and why did I trigger? And so she's right, because I have spent most of my life trying to fit in, or trying to have people like me, or you know, almost apologising for my existence, and never felt that I actually would deserve this space.
There it is. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And I speak a lot about that too. My viewers know that my topic is the 28 Days to Happy, and that is a lot of what I speak about too. Understanding that you deserve to be happy. You deserve the good things that are coming to you. You deserve the audience. You deserve the accolades and the applause. And it's a lot of times, and again, I always quote the Pretty Woman scene where she says, you know, the bad stuff is easier to believe. And that's a lot of times where we live. And that's unfortunate. And that's
really good.
It really is. And you hit on it right there. We don't believe that we deserve it. So it takes us, even when people tell you, you're great, you're wonderful, you're fantastic, you're wonderful, you're doing such a great job, we really love you, appreciate you. It's like, yeah, okay, I hear you, but do I believe you? And it takes a while.
So wouldn't it be then, I love that, because I had this conversation yesterday with someone, wouldn't it be then that the journey is about self? And it really is irrelevant what other people think.
Absolutely.
Of you. The interesting thing is that so often we don't realise that the very thing that is occurring to us is actually wonderful, but it's further down the track.
Absolutely.
And so we want this here to be so amazing, and yet, because we've put a condition on it, you know, instead of just rolling with it.
Just roll with it. And that's the thing. You have to be comfortable living. Go ahead.
Sorry, I knew there was something I was trying to
That's
do.
it.
So it's the old, you know, when you stick your finger on a stove and it burns, I said to them, what do you do? And they went, well, you take it off. And I said, why? And I went, well, it hurts. I said, then why do you keep telling the same story that hurts?
Love it.
And that's what they did. They went, oh.
Yeah.
And I went, how does it serve you constantly telling the same
story.
or thinking about an event that occurred?
Yeah.
It's just, that's sticking your
just
finger on the stove.
Right.
It's just an emotional pain. So, you know, in my story, my childhood is quite, you know, there's a lot of stories in that. And I was talking to a woman yesterday who's going to be a filmmaker.
Oh, nice.
Who would have thought? She's sitting in this room.
Love it.
See how we judge?
Love it.
God, I loved her. And she said, she goes, how do you get through it? And I said, well, I don't even think about it. I'm writing my book right now, my book of my life story.
Oh, nice. Oh.
But I'm having to fully associate, so I'm crying all the time. And I said to her, but I know where the crying's come from because I'm actually in the event. I'm not feeling sad for myself.
Right.
So, you know, it's a really good thing for people to get, I think. That's what I love about you. Like I said, the lightness around the journey of life.
Once you realize that, it does help a lot. I frequently say to get comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Choose happy, the habit of happy, that is. Achieve ultimate happiness in only 28 days at the workshop coming to you this September. Register today to save $100. Go to www.softskillsdirect.com to learn more and to register.
Oh, you are working on your life story now. When is that coming out? Do you have a title and everything yet?
Yep.
All right.
It's called Forbidden Fruit. And so it's a very challenging book for me to write. So I've got a writer, like a ghostwriter helping me, and she's amazing. Because it's also, you know, we're talking about a subject that is taboo, and we're also talking about a topic that's never been discussed before.
Nice. Okay.
So, you know, obviously to do with child sexual abuse and And then also, the part of my journey, because there's so much that happened to me.
Sure.
And, there were so many ugly moments early on, even probably up until I was 24. So I think and as she said, and a few people have said this to me, you're not exactly the pin-up girl for an abusive childhood. And I think that's what I like about it, that this is marketing.
And you know what? I love that you said that. You said that at one of our meetings either a month or 2 months ago. And that has been my catchphrase in all my trainings and everything, because I'm like, oh, yes, that's your absolute, it is. It's total marketing.
Yeah, it's all it is.
I love it.
It's just packaging. And,
it is.
And I think when we judge someone for their packaging or for their marketing, and I often say to people, I do this so people will look at me. And it's funny, when I was younger, I couldn't stand people looking at me.
Wow.
And so, and I was interviewed one time, and this guy said, because I find it amazing with everything that you went through. Like, I had warts all over my body and on my face, and I was sexually abused, and I was beaten, and I had blood blisters, and so I had pigeon-toed feet, and I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
No,
Sexual abuse quite all the way through.
Wow.
Eating disorders, father dies, the whole thing. And he goes, I find it really amazing that you will stand and put yourself out in the public eye to be judged, because that's what people do.
That's what people do. Yeah.
And he said, and yet you had such a, one would think that you would want to shy away. And that's why I know when I stand on stage or stand in front of a group, I don't necessarily like it. When I get started, I do, and when I've built a relationship with them, I do, and I'm exhausted when I'm finished. This judgment of us that pains us so much, I think it's our own personal judgment. The standard to which we've held our own, and like you said.
For joining me this week, I hope there was a lot of information that really resonated with you. I know it certainly did with me. And until next time, go, be, do.